Welcome to the podcast,
Thank
Ashley.
you. Thank you.
What's your business name?
Short and Sweet Events.
Nice. And what's the story behind that?
So my last name is Short. So that was just kind of a fun little way to incorporate that. But I think weddings are all about making like the beautiful, sweet moments. So Short and Sweet just kind of was the right name for me.
I love that. I'm just kidding. I said that for you. Okay.
Every time she says I love that, you guys have to clap. That's her butt. Or
Okay. Well, congratulations on being Idaho Bride's favorite planner and overall vendor.
Thank you.
How does it make you feel?
I still don't believe it. It still just feels so surreal. I never expected to. I just started my business in June of last year, so I didn't expect to get that kind of recognition so fast. So I'm still trying to process, but it's amazing. It's really incredible.
Well, I'm even surprised that the contest or whatever did so well, and I just started this in September, so I was like, oh my god!
And to go from what? How many votes did you have the first time?
The first time it was like because I ran the contest twice, and one was for the winter magazine, and there was maybe 30 people that responded, and in total on the one for the spring magazine there was over 8,000, close to 9,000 responses.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. It blew up.
It did, and I was like, oh my gosh! I would get the emails at the nightly review. The first night it was this many people responded, and it was a couple hundred, and I was like, no, no.
That's gotta be a mistake.
Yeah, and I logged on and I was scrolling. I was like, oh. And then the next day it was even more and more and more, and I was like, holy cow. But it's good because people needed to get recognized.
Yeah.
Obviously. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
If you weren't a vendor, what do you think you'd be doing?
So when I was in high school, I started peer tutoring kids with special needs, and I fell in love with it. I did it for years. After I graduated, I started working in a rehabilitative center for kids with special needs. Did that for a while. I moved to adults with special needs. I was working in a memory care facility with people with Alzheimer's and dementia. I loved that, but I went back to working with kids with special needs, and that's what I was doing up until I started doing weddings full time. So I did that for a very long time. So I would probably still be doing that. It's something that I still love doing, but my passion is in the wedding industry now.
It's so much fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like work. And I know that's kind of cliche to say, but it truly is so much fun, especially when you get to work with people that you're friends with. It's it's awesome.
Yeah. What's one thing your clients would say about working with you?
I think they would say that I'm kind of like the calm in the storm. Wedding days are super stressful. They go by in the blink of an eye. And there's a lot of moving parts throughout the day, but I try to make it as calm as possible, as stress-free as it can be. So I think that they just say that I try to take as much stress from them as I possibly can.
That's a good thing. I was trying not to say it. What does your dream wedding look like as a vendor?
Organization. Just being so organized, having everyone on the same page. There's always going to be something that goes wrong, no matter how organized you are, but having a good backup plan so that you can still execute the things that you need to without there being this big clusterfuck, basically. Yeah.
What's the funniest or most unexpected moment you've had at a wedding?
So I have two.
Okay.
One is actually my own wedding.
See, nothing goes right.
Nothing goes right.
There's always something.
There's always something that goes wrong.
Yeah.
There's some things that go right. But we got married at a venue that had recently opened. It wasn't fully up and running yet. The bathrooms were still not ready. The toilets weren't even hooked up to the wall. They were just in the middle of the room.
Right.
And my husband's sweet grandfather has dementia, and he had to use the restroom. And I remember seeing him towards the bathrooms, just walking back and forth with his little walker, like panicking.
Oh, probably like waiting for somebody.
Yeah, trying to find a bathroom because the bathrooms were outside. We had bathroom trailers. And the day after the wedding, the owner contacted me and let us know that someone had shit in one of the toilets that wasn't hooked up to the wall. And we ultimately like got docked for that in our deposit because they had to clean it up. But yeah, so he went and used one of the toilets that was not in function. So yeah, there's that. And then
Great.
a wedding that I did back, it was fall of last year. There was someone who was very adamant about making a speech, and the bride and groom said, like, we only want best man, maid of honor, mother of bride, father of bride, whoever, to make a speech. We do not want any other speeches. I was just like, okay. And I was talking to them saying, okay, we're about to start speeches, blah, blah, blah. A lady comes over and she's just like, okay, when you're done, I want the mic, to the groom. And I was like,
no,
we're actually not doing open speeches tonight. We're on a very strict schedule, all that. And she's just like, no, I want to make a speech. And I was just like, we're not doing open speeches tonight, but there will be plenty of time during the reception so you can talk to the couple, tell them everything you want to tell them. She looks at the couple and goes, give me the microphone when you're done. And I was just like, no, no, we're not doing that. So then she looked at me and she was just like, I'm making a speech. And I just completely, I didn't even look at her. I was just talking to the couple because I could see in their eyes, they're like, no,
please,
no, please don't. So I didn't let her make a speech. I actually talked to the bride's dad and let him know what was going on. And I was like, because he was the last one. I was like, do not give this lady the microphone. Like, be like, this is the end of the speeches. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
So he did. And then he came over and handed it to me right away. And I saw her making her way over to me. So I sprinted. I ran the other way with the microphone. And then I heard comments from her all night. Who the fuck is the wedding planner? She's such a bitch. Like, all this stuff. Giving me dirty looks all night.
Did you ever figure out who she was?
Yeah. So,
okay.
The bride wanted to change into her reception dress, so I went into the bridal suite with her, helped her change, and she was thanking me for not letting that lady make a speech. I was just like, who is she? And she was just like, she's her neighbor, and we're not on good terms right now. I'm surprised she even showed up to our wedding.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, well, there's no telling of what she would have said on that microphone then, and she was pretty drunk.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yikes.
It probably would not have been good, but I'm just like,
I just want to know now.
I know. I'm just like, and those are the situations that I kind of hate, like having to stand my ground, but it's also part of the job. If the bride and groom don't want people making speeches, I'm not going to let anyone make a speech, but I'm going to be hated for the rest of the night from these guests, but it's fine.
It's fine. At least it's you, not them.
Yes, exactly. I'll be the bad guy. It's fine. Yeah. They'll never see me again.
So you specialize in planning and floral. How did that come about?
So I took a floral design class back in high school in 2017, and I fell in love with it. I started doing floral a little bit here and there just for events of family and friends, just little things. And then I realized that kind of designing the whole wedding and being there step by step, helping just create people's dream events is something that I also fell in love with. So they kind of go hand in hand in just like the design aspect. And I just like being there and helping people throughout their day and just being part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying so hard not to say it. What's your favorite part of a wedding day?
My favorite part of a wedding day as a florist is always giving the bride her bouquet.
Oh.
I love seeing her reaction. Most of the time they start crying and then I start crying and then the mom starts crying, and it's a really cool thing to just see them. They like hold it and then they like practice walking with it, and they're just like, these are the flowers I'm going to be holding when I get married. And it's super emotional. I love it.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part of a wedding day as a coordinator, I think, is just when they are during the ceremony, they're getting married, and I just sit back. I'm like,
we made it.
We made it. Yeah, like we did this. Yeah. So it's just, it's like a big, whew, like, now let's go party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite part of a wedding day?
Cleanup. And I know the Yasinskis mentioned this in their last podcast, but it's so true. Like during the day, you're just go, go, go. You don't even have a chance to think about one, being hungry, to like how your body is going to be in shambles at the end of the night. And you sit down in your car, you drive home, and you get up and you're like, oh my gosh. And you're just in so much pain. I got a foot massager for Christmas, and I've been using that after every wedding, and it's amazing.
I bet.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
You should get one.
Yeah.
It's like a lifesaver. You just sit on the couch, and it's like heated and massages your feet. It's so nice.
I might just get that just cause.
I use it all the time.
Yeah. Send me the link.
Okay, I will.
What's a common misconception couples have about wedding planning or florals?
I think a huge one for planning and coordinating is just that they can do it on their own, which sometimes maybe they can if they have a ton of hands on deck, but it's not the best idea to rely on family members or friends who are attending the wedding to do all of the background stuff, because people, they start drinking, they get caught up in the moment. They're not there and dedicated to your day and like helping with all of the steps along the way. They're there to celebrate with you, and I'm sure they want to help out and they may do a great job, but there's a lot of things that can get missed. And just having someone there who does this for a living and knows exactly what to do and when to do it is extremely beneficial. Yeah.
I think so too, because especially like when you're trying to DIY everything and like you're still working and everything else, like it becomes a lot and there's a lot of stress to it.
Yeah. There's a lot, and I think people underestimate how much a coordinator does on the day. Mm-hmm. There's like, oh, I can set the cake out. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. But really, like, it's a lot, and you don't want to be worried about that. A lot of wedding venues now, they don't even allow real flower petals to be thrown during the ceremony. Or if they do, they're like, every single one needs to be picked up. Who are you going to go tell on your wedding day? Sorry, you can't join cocktail hour because I need you to go pick up every single flower petal in the ceremony area. So there's just a lot of things that coordinators do during the day that people may not see, but they're like big things.
Well, and plus you're like experienced, so like if you've seen something go wrong, you know how to prevent it at the next wedding.
Yeah, and I have this huge day of emergency kit that I bring with me to every single wedding. It has everything you can possibly think of in it, including I have like this little like stitch gun. Oh. I don't know if you saw it on TikTok, the stitchy. Yes, I have that. So, and it's come in handy. I mean, there were a groomsman's pants were so long, like to the point where they were past his feet, like with shoes on. Oh. So we just tucked it underneath. I stitched it up. No one could tell. Yeah. So it's just like these little things that you should, or you shouldn't have to think about needing, but I have all of that in case anything goes wrong.
That's a smart idea. Yeah. I use the stitch thing too.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
But I never thought about taking it to a wedding. I'm like,
Yeah, or like if a dress strap pops off or anything.
And that happened to my friend at our mutual friend's wedding, her bridesmaid dress popped and nobody had anything.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how we fixed it. But anyways.
Yeah.
If a couple is on the fence about hiring a planner or a florist, what would you tell them?
I would just tell them to do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
Kind of for all the reasons.
Yeah, you're not going to regret hiring someone to help you on your day, but you will regret not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing that you have someone there that knows what they're doing, whether it's florals or coordinating or in planning, they know what they're doing. This is their job. Let them do their job. It's definitely an investment, especially for coordinators, but it's going to be worth it in the end, and you're going to be able to enjoy your day knowing that there's someone there taking care of all that stuff and not being like, oh, did my dad do this? Did my cousin do this? You just know that everything's going to be taken care of.
I think that peace of mind is probably
I mean,
best.
It's either you're stressed out on your day worrying about everything happening, or okay, they got this. I'm just going to go have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What would you say the most rewarding part of the job is for you?
I think just like the best feeling is either the day after the wedding or a few days after or whatever, brides will reach out to you and just be like, thank you so much. Like, we could not have done this without you. You made our day so easy and just all that. And that feeling of just like, oh, I made their day better.
Mm-hmm.
I helped them out. That's a really good feeling, just knowing that you did a good job.
That is a good feeling.
Yeah.
Versus thinking that you did terrible.
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, did they like my services? Did I do a good job? But those messages are awesome. Or like getting the good reviews. And,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's super important too because like as a photographer, like when you deliver a gallery and they don't say anything, you're like,
oh my God, do you like my pictures?
Yeah. So I've never thought about it in the sense of like other vendors, like,
yeah.
What did they think of the day? Like,
yeah. Or like for florals, I'm like, did I match what they were wanting? Did I execute like their inspo photos? And that's something that I really try to do. I really try to get a good understanding of what they're wanting so that way it's exactly what they're picturing. But I don't want them to have a picture in their head of what their flowers are going to look like and I show up and it's nothing like that. Mm. Or I hope if it's nothing like that, I hope it's better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. You obviously want to please all your clients and go above and beyond, but
and just that sense of vulnerability when they don't say anything. You're like,
You're like, okay, so should I just leave myself a bad review from you?
Yeah. So we like hearing from people.
Yes. FYI. Reviews are amazing, and just the messages of good job.
Yeah, good job.
Those really matter.
It does. What is your favorite wedding tradition and why?
I am actually really liking people doing non-traditional stuff. Just like for my own wedding, my husband and I, we switched sides during the ceremony so that way my family and my bridesmaids and everything, they could see my face. And his family and his grooms and everything, they can see his face. And obviously, like, families are joining as one. My family loves him maybe more than they love me. His family loves me. But my parents, I'm sure when they imagined me getting married, they don't want to be looking at the back of my head the whole time. Mm-hmm. So I think the switching sides during the ceremony, I'm loving. Yeah. I love when couples do that. Or I've even seen where they have the officiant stand in the middle of the aisle, but towards the back. Oh. So then the couple is facing the audience, looking at the officiant. Yeah. So I'm really liking the non-traditional stuff right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've briefly heard of that, but I actually... Yeah, I think that needs to happen more often.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, you want to be in the moment with your partner while you're getting married, but you can still be in the moment and just kind of looking out a little bit so that way, I mean, I don't know. I like my front facing more than my side anyway. So if I'm facing towards the crowd or all the guests and the officiants down the aisle. I really like that.
Well, and I think that opens up for more of an opportunity because there's the advice that goes around that is like, before you walk down the aisle, just stop and take it in.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would rush that situation because I just I don't like standing in front of people. I want to get it over with. But if you have it in the beginning, you do have the opportunity, if you have the officiant in the middle, you have the opportunity throughout the ceremony to like truly enjoy it and celebrate the people that are with you.
Yeah, I don't even remember walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
It went by so fast. I remember my veil falling out and me having to stand there while they were fixing it. So I kind of took it in, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just something about facing everybody and just kind of enjoying that moment with everyone there who came to celebrate with you.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that versus just kind of tuning everything out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite first dance song, or do you have a moment that stands out as one that you loved witnessing?
I don't really have a favorite first dance song, but one first dance that I will always remember, it was one of my first weddings. During their first dance, the couple just looked at each other the entire time and they sang every single word of the song together, just like looking into each other's eyes, singing the song together. So you could tell that song truly meant something to them instead of just like, oh, that song's cute, I'll pick that, which is honestly what most people do. So just seeing how much that meant to them and just how much they were in the moment. I mean, they did not take their eyes off of each other that entire time. And they danced the entire song.
Really?
Like the whole 3.5 minutes.
Do you remember what song?
No. Oh. It was something by Zach Bryan, I'm pretty sure.
It's a good choice.
But yeah, it was just like a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
You could tell that meant a lot to them.
What was your first dance song?
What was it? Steady Heart by Cameron Marlowe.
I don't know if I know that one.
We chose this song because the song is about two completely different people who just have completely different lives but complement each other and come together and like just have this beautiful life together. Like I think one of the first words he says is that like she's like a nice glass of wine and I'm a glass of whiskey. And like,
yeah, I've heard this.
Or like, yeah. So it's just about two different people, which my husband and I are very different, like polar opposites. So it's just about coming together even as opposites and just creating like this beautiful thing.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Mine was Nitty Gritty Dirt Man Fishing in the Dark. But I will say it did have meaning because when Bodie and I first started dating, he actually took me night fishing and showed me that song. And I was like, oh my god, I love this song. So that just became our song.
Wait, what was it?
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band Fishing in the Dark.
Oh my god.
You and me go fishing in the dark.
That's so cute though. And it has meaning.
It does.
Exactly. Like our song had meaning, but it wasn't like something that we had a big story behind like that. That's really cute. That's cute. And I like that it's so different.
I know it is. Oh, anyways. What's the most rewarding feedback you've received from a couple after their wedding? Responding. Just kidding.
Huh? Oh yeah, responding. Seriously. I think, I don't know. So a few days after the wedding day, I always try to give the couple like a few days to decompress and just take it all in. And especially if they're going on a honeymoon, I don't want to reach out and be like, hey, can you leave me a review? While they're in Jamaica or something. So I always try to like give some time in between. But I love when couples reach out on their own and they're just like, we had to tell you how grateful we are for everything that you did on our wedding day. And that kind of feedback is the best. Just like reaching out on their own, just like, we have to tell you because we're so thankful for everything you did. And just, yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
It's very It is very rewarding.
Yeah, it is.
What is one of the most challenging wedding day situations you've handled, and how did you make it work?
Um, so this is a venue that has an outdoor ceremony area and then an indoor reception area. And there's no other, like, so basically, it was supposed to be a beautiful sunny day.
Oh, Idaho weather.
Yes. It was supposed to be a beautiful sunny day. We had everything outside set up for the ceremony, all decor, chairs, everything. And then it all of a sudden starts pouring and then hailing. It came
Sounds like Idaho.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. So everything got poured on. It was all soaking wet. The flowers just demolished from the hail, everything.
Oh, no.
And they were like actual ground installations so that we couldn't like take the flowers, and like bring them in. Yeah. So, but again, like this venue there was no plan B. And so we had to completely take down the reception area, now change that into the ceremony area. They had the ceremony. Guests had to go out on this tiny little patio area for a cocktail hour while we then did a room flip and changed it back to the reception area. But it ended up working out, and it was a beautiful day, and they had a beautiful indoor ceremony, which it wasn't what they were wanting, but it still turned out great. All the girls had to get their hair and makeup redone because they were outside doing photos at the time, and it was a crazy day, but we made it work.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta love Idaho weather.
It's so unpredictable.
It really is. What is a planning or floral trend that you're loving right now?
For florals, I'm really loving it's almost spring, so I think I'm a little deprived of the just colorful, the pastels, all of that. I made these arrangements recently, and
Thank you for bringing them.
Yes, of course. But I'm loving like the droopy, just like dramatic vibe. Yeah.
I am too, actually.
Yeah.
Like I said in the last podcast, I'm loving the maximalist everything.
Yes.
Like, give me the drama.
Yes.
What is a trend that you're not loving right now?
I don't know if it's necessarily a trend, but pampas grass.
Oh.
Why? And it's funny because that's all I used for my wedding. So and I know everyone says like, I wish I could go back and redo my wedding. I really wish I could go back and redo my wedding because I would do the beautiful, colorful flowers. I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah.
I wish it was a fall wedding, so it
made sense.
Yeah, it's very popular for fall, but
I love the florals.
Yes, and I'm just like, why did I use these weeds? They're pampas grass is an invasive plant. People don't like it. But then people for weddings are like, yes.
Give it to me.
Give it to me. Yeah.
Oh, huh. I didn't realize it was invasive.
Yeah.
What is a general wedding trend that you're loving right now?
I think just, again, the move towards non-traditional elements of the wedding day and just making your day personal to you instead of being like, okay, well, we have to do this because it's tradition. And just making the day completely special and customized to what you're wanting and what means the most to you.
I agree. Any advice for couples who want to make the most of florals or planning without breaking the budget?
So for florals, repurposing is a huge way that people can make the most out of their budget. Most of the time, any ceremony flowers that we use can be used for reception. Your arch piece can be brought down and put on the sweetheart's table. All of the aisle decor can be moved for centerpieces. Even bouquets. Bouquets can be put into a vase and be thrown on your gift table or bar or wherever. But yeah, repurposing is a huge way. Why spend the money on ceremony florals and reception florals because after the ceremony, no one's going to be looking at those. Mm-hmm. So bring them in, use them for your reception, get the most out of your money.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, why not?
Yeah, that's really smart. If you could give one piece of advice to couples just starting their wedding planning journey, what would you say?
I'd say to take a deep breath because it's stressful. Mm-hmm. I know you look at your to-do list that you find on the internet or wherever, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that's so much to do. But once you get those big things out of the way, like booking your venue, booking your vendors, all of the little things just come together like little puzzle pieces, and then you'll be able to see the big picture. But when you're at the beginning of your wedding planning or even the middle, all of the details, it's like you have all of them and you have everything, but it's all spread out. And you're just like, how do I put this together? But as you get closer, it does come together, whether they are going to believe that or not, because I know it's really stressful. But it just all comes together, and then you can just see the flow of everything. So just relax. Yeah, just down. Relax. It will be okay.
Do you have a checklist that, because I had a poll. I don't remember what it was for, but I remember the specific responses. People want a checklist of like things they should do in order.
Yeah, so I do have a checklist of things that people should do in order, and it's kind of separated out by how many months out you are. And I also, when couples do book with me for planning and coordinating, I make them a to-do list that's personalized for them, depending on how far out we are, because some people book you out a year, even sometimes even more in advance. And then some couples are like, okay, we're 4 months out. You're just like, oh, okay. So then, yeah, so I customize like a timeline of what they're needing to do and what they've already done. And then I also have lists. I have a list that has every possible vendor you could possibly need, like anywhere from live musicians to like a cleanup crew, servers, whatever. And then I also have a list of all the items you may be needing that you, like all the small things that you could forget about, like cake cutting utensils or like the actual plates and silverware for cake, because most people think about it for dinner, but they don't think about it for dessert. So I think those lists are really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, if you could give every couple one piece of advice before their big day, what would it be?
Just don't go in on your wedding day expecting everything to go perfectly. Just, obviously we don't want to plan for things to go wrong, but we like to have backup plans and plan Bs. But something is going to go wrong. So just enjoy the day. No one's going to remember. On my wedding day, I fell so hard. No. I couldn't walk for a week after the wedding day. I was dancing and I actually whipped. And I brought my knee up, and then when I put it back down, I stepped on my dress and I just completely slid out, fell straight onto my back. They had to help me back up. But I got up and I whipped again and I redeemed myself, and it was totally fine. But I was so embarrassed, and I'm just like, no one's going to remember. And honestly, if they do, fine, let them, because it's a good story now. I'm not embarrassed about it anymore. I think it's funny.
It is.
But in the moment, I was like, oh my God, I just fell on my wedding day. Like, this is the worst day of my life. Yeah. I went in the back, took so much ibuprofen, lidocaine spray all over my back. I couldn't walk for a week after. Like, I actually couldn't get out of bed the next morning. No. But now it's like the best story, one of the best stories I have from our wedding day. So just on your wedding day, if something goes wrong, something embarrassing happens or anything, it's going to be a great story later on. And no one's going to remember. Yeah. So, and again, if they do, let them. Yeah. It's a story. I'm the one who whipped so hard that I fell on my wedding day. So, yeah, just take it all in, even the bad. Because at the end of the day, you guys are going to get married, and that's the goal. And that's really the only thing that should matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thanks for the florals.
Of course.
Beautiful.
Thank you.